Supplements like Memory Lift are often built far more around marketing than what's actually inside the bottle. They rely on shaky or non-evidence-based claims and borrowed authority cues to sell the idea of a breakthrough brain formula. In some cases, the product being advertised isn't even the one you end up buying. A flashy landing page promotes one supplement, but the purchase links quietly send you to a cheaper, generic version because it's easier to source and more profitable. Over time, this kind of mass marketing attracts endless copycats, making it nearly impossible to track down any supposed original version online. That said, let's set the marketing hype aside and look closely at the ingredients most commonly found in Memory Lift style formulas. Do any of them actually have solid scientific evidence behind them when it comes to improving memory or cognitive function? DMAE, or dimethylaminoethanol, is a compound related to choline that was once marketed as a prescription drug for managing ADHD in children. However, the FDA required stronger and more rigorous studies to prove it actually worked, because the existing research was weak and inconsistent. The manufacturer chose not to conduct those studies, largely because DMAE is a naturally occurring compound that can't be patented, meaning there was little financial incentive to invest in expensive clinical trials. As a result, the drug was discontinued rather than properly studied. As better treatments for ADHD became available, DMAE fell out of clinical use altogether. Research looking at DMAE for dementia-related conditions, including Alzheimer's disease, has shown no meaningful cognitive benefit. There's likewise no evidence that it improves memory or brain function in healthy people. So while DMAE has some historical relevance, the current body of evidence does not support its use for ADHD or cognitive health in general. By the way, I review a lot of supplements here, so subscribe and hit the bell to stay updated, and support me on Ko-fi if you enjoy the content. Bacopa Monnieri is a herb commonly used in Ayurvedic medicine and does show some potential for improving certain aspects of cognition in healthy adults. A meta-analysis of clinical studies suggests that taking about 300 to 600 milligrams daily for at least 12 weeks may lead to modest improvements in specific cognitive measures, such as memory recall. However, these benefits don't appear to extend to people with neurological or cognitive disorders. For example, a small study in patients with Alzheimer's disease or mild cognitive impairment found that taking Bacopa daily for a year did not improve memory or cognition beyond baseline levels. Another study in older adults with Parkinson's disease showed no improvements in symptoms, emotional well-being, or social functioning after 90 days of Bacopa use. It's also important to note that the doses used in studies showing benefit are typically quite high, often much higher than what products like Memory Lift are likely to contain. Ginkgo biloba, a plant long used in traditional Chinese medicine, has been extensively studied for cognitive health, with mixed results. Some clinical trials suggest that taking ginkgo leaf extract daily for up to 12 weeks may lead to small improvements in memory and attention in healthy adults. These studies usually use a standardized extract, most commonly EGB761, at doses around 240 milligrams per day over several weeks or months. Other studies, however, show no meaningful cognitive benefit in healthy adults. Ginkgo appears to be more useful in people who already have cognitive impairment, particularly those with dementia. Meta-analyses indicate that ginkgo can modestly improve cognition and daily functioning in dementia patients, especially in cases of vascular dementia. That said, it does not appear to prevent dementia or slow disease progression. Importantly, these effects are tied to specific standardized extracts, different from the generic ginkgo often found in supplements like Memory Lift. Huperzine A is a compound extracted from plants such as Chinese club moss and works by inhibiting acetylcholinesterase, the enzyme that breaks down acetylcholine. By blocking this enzyme, Huperzine A increases acetylcholine levels in the brain, a neurotransmitter that plays a key role in memory and attention. In people with Alzheimer's disease, Huperzine A has shown some promise, with studies reporting modest improvements in memory, cognition, and behavior. However, in healthy adults without cognitive impairment, the evidence suggests it offers little to no benefit. Acetylcholinesterase inhibitors like Huperzine A tend to help only when there's an existing deficit. For people with normal cognition, boosting acetylcholine does not appear to translate into meaningful improvements in memory or brain performance. Lion's mane mushroom, also known as Hericium erinaceus, grows on dead hardwood trees like oak and beech. Some research suggests lion's mane may offer modest benefits for older adults with cognitive issues. In small studies, people with mild Alzheimer's disease showed slight improvements on cognitive tests, and older adults with mild cognitive impairment saw improvements after taking relatively high doses, around 1 gram 3 times per day for several months. However, those benefits faded once supplementation stopped. In healthy people, the results are far less convincing. One study gave young healthy adults 10 grams per day during a period of exercise-related fatigue and found no improvement in mental performance. A smaller study in adults over 50 did report some cognitive benefits at around 3.2 grams per day after 12 weeks, but overall the evidence remains inconsistent. Taken together, lion's mane may help some older individuals or those with mild cognitive problems, but younger, healthy people are unlikely to notice much effect. And once again, dose matters. Studies showing any benefit use between 3 and 10 grams per day, far more than what Memory Lift contains. Phosphatidylserine is a type of fat that plays an important role in the structure and function of brain cells. Research suggests it can improve attention, alertness, verbal fluency, and memory in people experiencing age-related cognitive decline. It appears to work best in individuals with mild cognitive impairment, rather than those with more severe disease. In people with Alzheimer's disease, short-term use of phosphatidylserine, typically over 6 to 12 weeks, has been shown to improve certain cognitive and behavioral measures. However, these effects are usually temporary, often fading after about 4 months, and phosphatidylserine does not slow or stop disease progression. For healthy individuals, the evidence supporting cognitive benefits is weak. Even in studies that do show positive effects, the doses used are typically around 300 milligrams per day, which is substantially higher than what Memory Lift likely provides. So is Memory Lift actually effective? In short, no. This is not a supplement I would recommend. Beyond the questionable doses, there's a real concern that the product you receive may not even contain all or any of the ingredients being advertised. While some of these compounds may have limited value in specific cognitive situations, you're far better off choosing individual supplements with clearly labeled ingredients and dosing, so you know what you're actually taking. Memory Lift sells for around $60 to $70 a month. If you're healthy and simply looking for a mild mental boost, combining supplements like Bacopa and L-theanine would likely deliver better results for around $4 to $6 a month each. If you're dealing with mild cognitive concerns, options like Ginkgo Biloba and Phosphatidylserine may make more sense, and those would typically cost only about $4 to $12 per month each. Rating Memory Lift by effectiveness for improving cognition, I'm giving it a D. The doses are likely too low to provide meaningful benefits. Rating it by cost, I'm giving it a D. The formula can be easily replicated with higher quality ingredients at a fraction of the price. Rating it for safety, I'm giving it a C. There are too many copycat products and too much uncertainty around what you're actually getting. Overall rating, I'm giving an F. I would recommend you stay away from it. Hi, I'm Dr. Brian Young. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to share them in the comments down below. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And if you know someone who could benefit from this, please share it with them. Finally, if you enjoy what we do and want to learn more, consider supporting us on Ko-fi, and be sure to check out our other socials as well.